Okay, I want you to imagine waking up exactly 1 year from today. You've worked incredibly hard all year. You showed up, you put in the hours, you even earned a decent salary. But when you log into your banking app, your account balance looks exactly the same as it does right now. Zero financial progress. Zilch. It's a frustrating, almost suffocating feeling, isn't it? Well, unfortunately for millions of hardworking people, that scenario isn't just a bad dream, it's their everyday reality. In this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly why that happens, and more importantly, how to make sure we aren't caught in that cycle. Now, picture two completely different lives. On one hand, you have someone making a massive, high six-figure salary, but at the end of the month, they are completely broke. Stress is high, savings are practically non-existent. But then, look at the other side. Someone making exactly half that income is investing, buying assets, and year after year, actually getting richer. It creates a massive tension, right? Like, how is that even mathematically possible? So, what's the actual difference between these two people? Well, I can tell you right now, it's not about luck, and it certainly isn't about raw intelligence. The difference comes down to avoiding 5 very specific money mistakes that millions of people are making right now in 2026. If we're guilty of even one of these, we might be quietly keeping ourselves broke without even realizing it. But don't worry, we are going to identify them and figure out exactly how to fix them. All right, let's jump right in. Mistake number 1, the lifestyle inflation trap. Okay, let's dive into this. Let me paint a picture for you. You've been grinding at your job and your boss finally gives you that raise you've been fighting for. It's an awesome feeling, right? You've got more money coming in. But instead of capturing that new wealth, human nature kind of takes over. Step 1, you get the raise. Step 2, you immediately justify buying a newer, flashier car. Step 3, you upgrade your apartment to a nicer neighborhood, maybe get the newest smartphone, book a more expensive vacation, which leads us straight to step 4, bigger monthly payments. Instead of investing that extra income, you've just bumped up your baseline expenses. This is lifestyle inflation. And the truly scary part about this cycle, the more money you make, the more fundamentally broke you become because your obligations rise perfectly in step with your paycheck. Real wealth isn't built by simply earning more money. It's built by keeping more of it. So, here is your practical action for this mistake. The next time you get a raise or a bonus, I want you to pretend it never even happened. Seriously, keep your living expenses exactly where they were and set up an automatic transfer to invest that extra cash before you even have the chance to spend it. Your future self will absolutely thank you for that one. Moving on to mistake number 2, fake assets versus real wealth. We all know someone who buys the luxury car, the designer clothes, or finances the absolute newest gadgets just to look successful, right? We tend to think of these things as assets, but here is the golden mathematical rule of wealth. If a purchase takes money out of your pocket every single month in the form of payments, maintenance, or depreciation, it is a liability. It is a fake asset. Real assets, on the other hand, are things that actually put money into your pocket. Stocks, index funds, a cash-flowing rental property, or a profitable business. So the crucial takeaway here is this: money should be used to buy things that make more money, not things that just make us look successful to the neighbors. There is a massive, massive difference between the two. Your practical action here is to ruthlessly audit your next big purchase. Just completely shift your mindset. Stop buying the illusion of wealth and start acquiring real, income-producing assets. Next up, mistake number 3, the checking account illusion. A lot of people feel incredibly secure seeing a large sum of cash sitting idle in their everyday checking account. It feels safe, right? We treat it like this wealth-building tool, thinking that because the number itself isn't going down, our money is perfectly fine. But we're missing a silent thief: 3%. That's your average inflation. When inflation is hovering around 3% and your checking account is paying you exactly 0% interest, your money is literally evaporating in thin air. Your purchasing power is dropping every single year that cash just sits there doing nothing. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens. Imagine leaving 10 grand completely untouched in a standard checking account. In year 1, you have full purchasing power. Awesome. But fast forward to year 5 and then year 10. The number in the account still says $10,000, but the actual value, what you can literally buy with it at the grocery store or the dealership, is significantly less. You are actually losing money by trying to play it safe. So what do we do about this? Well, your practical action is to first build a proper emergency fund so you have a safety net. But once that's dialed in, you absolutely must move your extra money into accounts that actually grow. Put it in a high-yield savings account, broadly diversified index funds, or tax-advantaged retirement accounts. Investing isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about putting your money to work and letting time do the heavy lifting for you. All right, mistake number 4, The credit card debt spiral. Listen, credit cards offer great rewards and fraud protection for sure, but carrying credit card debt is financially lethal. Too many people fall into the trap of buying things today and forcing their future paycheck to pay for today's past. Now, what's really interesting about this timeline is how fast things escalate. Let's say you buy a nice dinner out today for $100 and put it on a credit card you don't pay off. A few months later, thanks to compounding interest, that dinner actually cost you $120. A year later, it's $150. Eventually, you've paid $200 for a meal you ate literally years ago. Banks absolutely love this. They are building skyscrapers off this exact math. But you shouldn't fall for it. The practical action to stop this spiral is a hard, non-negotiable rule. If you cannot pay the balance in full at the end of the month, you need to think twice before buying it, period. Treat credit strictly as a financial tool to build your score and get points, never as a lifestyle subsidy to buy things you can't actually afford. And finally, mistake number 5, the cost of financial ignorance. For decades, we've all used the excuse, well, nobody taught me this. And, it's true. We spent years in school memorizing complex algebra, the Pythagorean theorem, and the dates of ancient battles. But what do we actually need to survive and thrive as adults? Investing, understanding taxes, managing credit, and planning for retirement. In traditional schooling, financial education is treated as optional, if it's offered at all. But accepting that ignorance as a grown adult, that's a choice. Let me be very, very clear. Ignorance is incredibly expensive. The mistakes we just talked about cost people hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. So your practical action is to take control of your own curriculum. Read the personal finance books. Listen to educational podcasts. Watch explainers exactly like this one. Make it a personal goal to learn just one new money lesson every single week. Because at the end of the day, the absolute best investment you can possibly make is investing in your own financial education. Now, if you take absolutely anything away from this explainer, let it be this definition of wealth. Getting ahead and building real wealth is rarely about making one massive, life-altering decision. It's not about winning the lottery. It is simply about making hundreds of small, smart decisions and repeating those daily habits over a period of years. If you just avoid the 5 mistakes we've covered today, you are already miles ahead of millions of people. Because ultimately, we have to remember why we are doing all of this in the first place. Money isn't just about buying things. It's about buying freedom. When you optimize your finances, you are buying the freedom to choose your career, the freedom to travel when you want, the freedom to spend uninterrupted time with your family. You are buying the ultimate luxury, the freedom to live life entirely on your own terms. So I have a question for you to end on today. Which of these 5 mistakes have you been making? And more importantly, which one are you going to fix right now? Be brutally honest with yourself. Drop your answer down in the comments below. Putting it in writing is the absolute first step to accountability. And hey, if this explainer helps shift your perspective on your financial future, please hit subscribe so we can keep building that wealth blueprint together. Remember, your future isn't decided by how much you earn, it's decided by what you do with what you earn. I'll see you in the next one.